You're transported 200 years into the past with a fully charged smartphone but no charger. What do you do? Trading the phone for Louisiana. Don't use it. Find rich person. Demo its uses and leave out the battery stuff. Sell it to rich person for a ridiculous amount of currency. Get as far away as possible. Die of polio. I got 67 gig of memes to educate the human race. Lower my brightness. Without much technical knowledge, not a whole lot. It isn't like the internet was in existence 200 years ago, so unless you had a lot of info saved locally, it isn't very useful. Maybe use it for a flashlight for a while? Somebody needs to make a book called The Time Traveler's Guide. Each chapter is a premise of you being stranded back in time in a different era. It would have information you need to change the world with available technology at the time. Like say how to make gunpowder and a cannon if it was 1300s Europe. Maybe there's a book like that out there already, and if so, it's Amazon time. And then in the case of this thread, have the digital copy before you get sent back and go to the 1800s chapter and write down what you can before the battery dies. I'd take photos until my battery would run out. Then I'd leave the phone in some safe place waiting for time to catch up so someone can find it, charge it and find the photos. Turn the phone off and leave it in an attic. Live the rest of my days as any other person. On my deathbed, tell my grandchild about the phone and to go look for it. They find it but the battery is probably dead by now and I don't know where I'm going with this. I'd show people pictures of my dog. That would be 1819. Lady Ada Lovelace, the inventor of the first working mechanical computer, started working on it in the 1830s. I would find her and Charles Babbage and explain all the advances in computers and software and hardware, i.e. transistor design, in general. I am an electrical engineer with 25 years experience in digital VLSI design and audio signal processing. After teaching them knowledge that wouldn't be known for 150 to 200 years, I would leave with them the working example of a computer more powerful than they could dream of, the smartphone. I would tell them to keep it safe, until technology develops that they can effectively reverse engineer it, though I already would have given them a high-level overview of how it works, from the RF front-end to the back-end application processor. I would also give them a high-level overview of the manufacturing process for such a device. I could teach them how to make a DC power supply to keep the iPhone charged, but I don't have the specs on the recharge connector protocol, so it is not as simple as making a DC power supply and then you're done. My hope is that I advance technology by 100 years. However, the best that can hope for is a few decades because advancement in one technology requires advancement in other technologies, some of which I have no expertise in. This is like how the ancient Greeks discovered the basic steam engine, but this didn't cause the Industrial Revolution to happen 2,000 years earlier because the metallurgy required to make vessels that could withstand the high pressures of a working practical steam engine would not be invented for hundreds of years. Also, if Ada Lovelace was hot, I would try to fuck her. Die of like a million different viruses and illnesses that I am not immune to. Also spread around modern superbugs that will eradicate all human life on Earth. Whoever has hardcore history downloaded on their phone is about to be a prophet. Maybe I'd start some sort of religion, cult around this tiny, cold box that makes sounds and has moving pictures, get rich and enjoy the rest of my life. Granted that I'm not going to get executed for witchcraft. Depends on the delivery, I guess. Do I have a chance to prepare? If so, grab an offline copy of Wikipedia with science and engineering topics. Pretty much every phone designed can accept approximately 5 volts DC power from the USB port for slow charging. If it were 200 years in the past, we would have voltaic piles available in research labs, but no dynamo. Since each copper, zinc cell has about 0.5 volts, stack a series of 10 of them together, with piles in parallel supplying power to the phone. Now I can use the phone without having to worry about running out of power. It might be necessary to take the phone apart to connect the external power source to the phone, since I might not have a USB-C cable to cannibalize. At this point, exploit the future's knowledge of geography to buy valuable land for mining, and introduce electricity for industrial purposes about 50 years early. Go all back to the future, part 2, and mail it to myself on a certain date in the future so that I can try and reverse engineer the phone and become the pioneer of smartphones, become a multi-billionaire and rule the phone world if not the entire world. It makes sense, right? Good thing I've downloaded Wikipedia. I'd like to think I would do something super clever and make myself rich, but I know myself better. I'd just play Candy Crush until it dies. Find a merchant, preferably one in a royal court, demonstrate the camera recording abilities and talk up the potential of how you can use it to record and organize your royal life. Downplay, lie when they ask how long it'll last. Get paid as much as possible and then haul ass out of that country and preferably across an ocean as quick as possible. Yeet that shit into a river so no one knows I'm a time traveler. Pass off classics like November Rain as my own music. Probably become a slave, unfortunately. It's not like a black woman has freedom to just be around the 1800s. Honestly, invent antibiotics and cancel my Spotify subscription. Those bastard ain't getting me shekels anymore. Find toilet, browse Reddit, die of dysentery. Show up to a world fair with my mysterious light box. Make a name for myself as an inventor or at least some mysterious guy with a mystical device. Invent basic electricity generators and computers. Try to charge the phone with a hand generator or something. Try to reverse engineer the phone. Be me. Save Lincoln. Be hero. Sex women. Open Tinder. Oh look, it works exactly the same 200 years from now. Forget the phone. You're 200 years in the past with an intact brain. Invent things that are common today. Invest in the stock market. Invent the mobile phone charger. Your immune system is way stronger than people's 200 years ago, so you'd probably kill everyone. Sit down next to a cart. Start to cough. Suddenly I just want to keep a pocket solar charger on me at all times. That being said, start writing most of the stuff on my Kindle. Use it to track down the one Wi-Fi signal that it detects, because that's obviously another time traveler who hopefully can get me back to my time. Assuming I was aware that this was going to happen and could prepare for it, I'd have downloaded as much from Wikipedia as possible. From there you'd be in a great position. If it was like, I just charged my phone and then walk out of my door and poof, I've unexpectedly traveled, then I guess I can use it to let them hear what kind of music we have in the future, show them some photos of my dog, and use it as a flashlight, but that's about it I think. Guess I better download some stuff from Wikipedia, just in case. Kill a bunch of people with the diseases I inevitably carry but modern humans are immune to. Show them pictures of my dog from the future. Get wire and a potato, plug it in there. Sell it for massive amounts of money. Its biggest usefulness is its novelty. Someone would pay big for it. Give it to the top scientific minds of the days so they can try to replicate it. Turn that fucker off and come up with a plan. Forget that I left the Wi-Fi thing on so it drains battery constantly looking for signal, plus if it's my current phone I'd only get like 2 hours tops, battery is wrecked. I have a survival manual saved on my phone. I'll need it because there really weren't any villages around here for another 30 years. Maybe I'd bump into a French missionary or fur trader, but most likely, I'd die of exposure before being found by Native Americans. With no infrastructure or cloud to Google how to build a battery, I would probably just beat it to all my saved porn then die of dysentery. Get a job. Find about 100 pounds of fresh potatoes along with some zinc and copper wires. Use the smartphone to trick people into thinking I have magic and try to rise in power quickly as possible. Hope it doesn't die. Low power mode and low brightness will help keep it alive, also airplane mode. Go to the government. Tell them I'm from the future, show them my phone and they will make a charger for me. Use the remaining charge to present it as an instrument of mass wonder and power, sell it for what would in this age be millions, and live the rest of my life in relative peace. Charger wouldn't do me any good if I had it 200 years in the past. Die with a fancy flashlight? I would look at the sky and scream, "Come back, zinc." I feel like the top answer should be automatically put it on airplane mode to conserve battery. Power off. I bet the roaming charges would be a bitch. In any case the phone would keep searching for a signal. So you'd have to put on battery save and turn off the network scan so you could have a chance at saving your battery. Uninstall Tinder. I guess. Question is, 200 years ago, but where? If I get to stay in the same place I'm now, I'll plummet to my death. If I gracefully appear in ground level, the first thing I will do is to turn off the phone, make myself a wattle and daub shelter complete with a terracotta tiled roof, plumbing made of fired clay pipes and toilet, etc. Then, I'll make some voltaic piles to recharge my phone. As this place isn't going to be urbanized in 100 years, I can choose to spend the rest of my life here, in the wilderness, or make my own way to the city, where I don't want to live due to cholera, the awful smell of crap, dung, piss, trash, and other things, and several diseases I'm vaccinated against, but no thanks, I don't want to risk myself. I'll use the phone to remember how to do things thanks to that Aussie guy in Primitive Tech channel. I downloaded all his videos so no internet needed. Also, I have some useful apps, like a compass, a flashlight, some noise generators, an astronomy app, calculator, etc. As long as I keep it charged, I'll be fine. The phone doesn't matter, because I wouldn't be able to salvage it after falling into the bay that used to be where I'm currently sitting.